Hi, it's Megan. I'm here in New York. Been here for about a month on honeymoon. John and I got married actually a month ago today. So we've been having some fun in New York and now I'm doing a little bit of work. One of the reasons I wanted to come to New York for such a long period of time is that whenever you go to a new place, you literally get a different perspective on the world. You see things differently. And a lot of the time, the real progress you make in your business comes from a few lessons or distinctions that a lot of the time you learn whenever you're not really looking for them. You know, you just kind of see something from a different angle and something clicks. So I've had a couple of those experiences in the past couple of weeks, and I just wanted to share one with you that I think applies to every business owner I've ever met. So I'm sure it applies to you. I don't know if you've ever had a problem, maybe you've got one at the minute, where you've got a problem in your business that you seem to have had forever, whether it's the past few months or maybe you've had it for a few years and you've tried a lot of different solutions, but it just never quite seems to get resolved. You always seem to be coming back to the same kind of problem. I know I certainly have had that problem before, and over the past couple of weeks I've stumbled upon an achingly simple way to solve any problem like that. So let me tell you what happened. We went to the cinema to see a film called In the Family, it's an incredible film. I won't go into detail, but if you ever get the chance to see it, go check it out. So in this film, the main character has a huge dilemma in his life, and he spends months and months trying every different potential solution he can think of, and every solution I can think of, but he gets absolutely nowhere with it. And then there's one scene where a friend poses 3 simple questions to him. And by answering these 3 questions, he reveals the truth of the problem, and he's able to see exactly what's going on, and he's able to see solutions that he couldn't see before. And from then on, he just kind of effortlessly gets to a solution. So these 3 questions apply to everything in business, and actually I can't think of any aspect of life that these 3 questions don't apply to. So if there's any problem you have that you've been struggling with for a while, then these 3 questions will help you see the solution that will work for you. So what are the 3 questions? First of all, actually, if you've got a problem in mind, keep it in mind, but don't try and answer these questions immediately. Just sit with them, maybe for a few hours, maybe for a few days, whatever you need, but sit with them, because on the face of it, they seem to be extremely simple questions. But it's important to not just give the first answer. Sit with them and let them kind of percolate until you get the real answer that is within. So the first question is, what is important to change? What's the problem? What do you want to change about it? The second question is, what don't you want to disturb? So what are the things about this situation or about your business that you don't want to change? The things that you want to stay the same. And then the third question is, what are you willing to give up? So the genius of these 3 questions is that they force you to view your problem from a different perspective. Normally what happens whenever we have a problem that we've been banging our heads against the wall trying to solve and getting nowhere is that we've been stuck in a linear thinking pattern, kind of had blinkers on. And when you go through the process of asking yourself and answering these 3 questions, it allows you to break out of that, and you can see different connections and different potential solutions that you couldn't see before. You know, by asking yourself these 3 questions, it really refocuses you on what the actual problem is. It helps you to forget about the drama of the situation and see what is standing in your way from where you are with it and where you want to be with it. So let's look at an example of how these 3 questions work. By the nature of what I do, a lot of the business owners I talk to come to me with problems like, I want to make more money, or I want to have better customers, or I want to make more sales. So that's not really the whole story. It's not the truth of the matter. So let's go through the 3 questions with this business owner with this problem. So the first question is, what is important to change? So they're coming saying they want to make more money, but that's not really the problem. They don't want to make more money just for the sake of it. There's always a why behind that desire. So maybe they want to make more money so that they can go on holiday more, or maybe they want to pay for their children's education, or maybe they want to buy a second home so that they can spend more time with their family and give them a better quality of life. Whatever it is, there's always a why behind that initial problem. So it's important to find out exactly what that why is. What's the real problem? What's the real thing that you want to change before you set about trying to find a solution? The second question is, what don't you want to disturb? We all have things in our business and in our life that we're very happy with and that we value and we don't want to change. You know, there's things that we want to stay the same. We want to make sure that they don't get violated and that we can continue on with them as they are. So it's important to figure out what that is in advance of trying to find a solution to your problem, because too many business owners try and implement solutions to their problems that will never work for them because they violate the things that they value and that they don't want to change. So I've implemented marketing campaigns for business owners in the past that are very effective at bringing in leads. But whenever it hands over to the business owner to convert those leads to sales, it never happens because some business owners don't want to spend any time talking to prospects on the phone, so they won't take the time, they won't change their day-to-day activities to take the time to follow up with these leads and turn them into sales. So they're taking a solution that will work beautifully for someone else, but it will never work for them because it interferes with the things that they don't want to disturb. What they need instead is a solution that will allow for someone else to do those follow-up calls to make sure that the leads convert into sales. So you have to know in advance what you're not going to change. The third question is, what are you willing to give up? And this is the big one. We can't change anything in our business without affecting a bunch of other things. It's a natural law. You can't change one thing without having an effect on some other things. So it's important to decide before you set out trying to implement a solution, figure out what you're willing to give up, what you're willing to stop doing. If you want to grow a nationwide company, you can't do that without giving up certain things. You can't do it without giving up having personal control over every little thing in your business. Or you can't build a business that lets you have the autonomy to come and spend a month in New York without at some stage along the line giving up the certainty of a job and a paycheck, and without giving up plenty of evenings and weekends along the way as you build your business. So there's always a price to pay, and you're willing to pay a certain price. Figure out what that is in advance, and then you'll know before you even begin what solutions will work and what ones won't work for you and your particular situation. So if you apply these three questions to your problem, if you sit with them for a period of time, don't just settle for the first answer that pops into your mind. That's the I want more money answer. Ask yourself what the why is behind that, what's underneath it. If you get to the truth and the answers to these three questions, then the solution will reveal itself to you. It will become clear what you need to do and what stands in your way from where you are now to where you want to be with it. The whole process reminds me of a passage from one of my favourite writers, Alan Watts. He says, "The question, what shall we do about it, is only asked by those who do not understand the problem. If a problem can be solved at all, to understand it and to know what to do about it are the same thing. On the other hand, doing something about a problem which you do not understand is like trying to clear away darkness by thrusting it aside with your hands. When light is brought, the darkness vanishes at once." We were lucky enough to be at a screening of the film that had a Q&A with the writer-director afterwards, and I've been in contact with him since and asked him about the three questions, and he told me that when he was writing that scene, he'd written lots of different variations of it where the friend gives all kinds of advice to the main character. But he said whenever he wrote the three questions, it all just kind of clicked, And the rest of the film from that point just kind of wrote itself. He said it became abundantly clear what he needed to do and what he would do. And I think if you take the time and do the process yourself, ask yourself the 3 questions, sit with it, you'll have the same experience. Your next moves will reveal themselves. And when I'm going to put the questions back on the screen so you can write them down. And when you are doing the process, do it justice. Write down your answers. You can burn them afterwards if you want, you don't have to show them to anyone. But take the time and have the courage to do the process properly. Go to a quiet place, turn your phone off, write down your answers, take an hour or so, and do it today, don't put it off. And when you've done that, let me know how it goes, because I think you'll find it to be a very powerful experience. So leave me a comment, send me an email, get in touch and let me know how it goes for you. I'm going to head off into the night in New York now, so I hope you've enjoyed the video and I will speak to you soon. Thanks a lot.